Welcome to the Mischief. I'm Valen, and this is Immersive Engineering. Today we're going to be covering the Railgun and the Charging Station. So, first and foremost, you should be warned that the Railgun is more or less balanced, more for a vanilla style, I guess. I don't know. You'll see what I mean as we play here. So, with this, the Railgun, right? It is made with a simple HV capacitor times 2, a couple revolver barrels, 2 electrum coil blocks, and a wooden grip. Very simple. Very simple. Of course, I mean, the HV is a little bit expensive, but hey, if you look it up in your engineer's manual, you know, you can just type in rail. There you go. It actually even says in here that it basically will launch a projectile similar to like a very high technology version of a slingshot. And it will use a lot of power, so much so that at best you might be able to get 15 shots out of it. At worst, it'll be, well, less than that. But let me grab one of these here. We have a railgun in our engineer's workbench, and it's been assembled already. Put it in here, and you can actually put some extra things on it, you know, besides your usual skins. Of course, you've got this really cool one that it's just I think a common or uncommon, the little like shark mouth on the side there. It's pretty darn cool. Let me actually zoom in on this. Oh, that's right. You can have some extra really cool options on here with a precision scope or an additional capacitors. And I have to say that my favorite of the two is actually the capacitors, even though the scope sounds awesome. I mean, heck, who hasn't played a FPS that, you know, you have your option to zoom in and like totally take out a target, right? Well, in this case, it's a little bit different, but before I get into that, let's cover the additional capacitors. So if you look here, this has 8,000 flux in it. Now, if I take these additional capacitors, put it on, and it will then gain up to 12,000, which is very important because the number of shots you get with a railgun is very limited, though it is more of a straight shot and not so much of an arcing one. So let's put one of those in there, and then we can always charge it up. Now the one I have here has 12,000. So actually, let me put these in place, take that out, and we'll put this up here. You can see it's got 12,000 in it because it's already been upgraded, but it has no energy in it at all. I will show you how to increase its energy in a moment, but therefore you've seen the capacitor bonus. Now the precision scope, what this allows you to do is just zoom. That's all it does. It does not allow you to have better accuracy, worse accuracy, anything of that nature, but you can zoom. Now if you look on the right side, it actually has, and I'm pressing sneak. So yeah, you see here, I'm in like first or third person perspective here, you know, so therefore I'm sneaking. That's what happened at the beginning intro, but I had taken away the menu options, so it actually just zooms in. It's actually kind of neat. But with that, if you use your mouse scroll wheel, you can scroll in and out for a better zoom functionality. Now, there might be a little bit of an issue with your world after you zoom back out. I am not moving. As soon as I move, there we go. Everything fixes itself. So it's just, even if you just look around a tiny bit, everything will fix itself. But you have an idea of where you're aiming. Now, this is not a perfect aiming mechanism. If I aim for the center of this target here, it will not necessarily hit exactly in that center. It's not that precision of an item, but it is better than a bow in most places, but not all. Allow me to take a couple of bows here for an example, but before I get into that, I should also toss this railgun in here, take these two items out, and just briefly show you that the recipe for the additional capacitors is 3 more HV capacitors, 3 HV wire coils, and you'll get those. And then the precision scope is much simpler, made with 4 copper ingots and 2 glass panes. Of course, the capacitors are much more useful than the scope, but hey. And then of course you can put in your skin of choice on the side there and change the look of your railgun as you would like it. You know, I thought this one was rather appropriate, and the little shark mouth on the side looked really cool. But I mean, it's not going to work if it doesn't have anything to charge with. I mean, right now this one has 0 flux, so I'm going to try using it. You can see that the bar on the bottom right there actually went to 99, but I'm raising my shield, which also means that it's not actually going to fire anything. It's not working. If I raise my shield, it's just kind of acting like it's charging, but it's not really doing anything. And I'm right-clicking. You might even be able to hear that. It's not working. So what you need is a charging station. Now, a charging station is actually rather cheap to make. It's just some treated wood planks, copper coil blocks, a little bit of glass, 2 iron, and a MV, or your middle of the line voltage, and that will make you a charging station. Now, these guys are pretty cool, actually. If you have something that needs to be charged up with some kind of power, then this might actually satisfy that for you, and it has a visual interface with how that works. Now, before I show you that in this place, I need to show you a little something on this model here. Let me click this, and you can see there's a little bit of a texture breaking there, but I'll report that. This here is a power input, as well as on the back is a power input. You can also pipe in and out from the sides and top and things like that if you so desire, but the power should go in from either the back or the bottom, just so that you know that. In this case, I put it on a creative capacitor that is just outputting to the top of it and the bottom of the charging station. All you do is you take your railgun or item of choice that may need power, and you can see it's holding 32,000 kilo IF in there. Put it in there, and you see the colors changing from red to orange to green, which is fantastic. And then it goes into your inventory. Now, if I put that in there and I grab that and I back up really quick, it might actually drop out of your inventory. So you might want to just, when you're picking it up, give it a quick second before it shows up in your inventory, because all that's happening is it's dropping it at on your location, and then you have to have that split moment to pick it up. So it's possible somebody with a magnet nearby could potentially grab it from you. I did not test that, but it is a possibility. But I do really like the idea that these little electrodes at the front will display. Whoops, that's unexpected. Will display and actually show you the status of the gun itself. I have not been able to duplicate that little error since, but hey. Anyway, that is how that is going to work. Now, ammunition for this is going to come in the form of rods, aluminum rods, iron rods, steel rods, or graphite in this case. So allow me to grab a bunch of this stuff, clear out a few things from my inventory, and we're going to make some space. We're going to do aluminum, iron, steel, and graphite. Now, I will show you what's going on with these in a moment here. I have in my inventory, no I don't, I need to grab a test dummy. We're going to put him out here so that we can actually shoot at something, and you can, oh, there he is, he's already there. So I'm just going to throw that guy in the water. Doesn't matter. I've got my railgun. It has a scope on it, so I can zoom in and out. Let me get up here and stand on my spot here. And I can zoom in at the target, shift to zoom in so that I can be as accurate as possible, and then I can fire it. Now, the first one in my inventory line on the bottom there, I'm actually going to scroll off of that so that it doesn't want to fire the railgun, is an aluminum rod. Next is iron, next is steel, next is graphite. We're going to go with aluminum first, and I will show you the differences in these are not going to be in how they fire. It's going to be in the damage that they do. So let me zoom in, and I'm just holding down the right button, and it makes this loud noise, and it shoots. And you can see it kind of drop down a bit, and you can see that there is some inaccuracy for it. It's really cool sound effects. It's excellent. Of course, you can zoom in and out as you want, but I was just zooming all the way in so you guys could see. Now, if I fly over here, you'll see that some of those rods are sticking in there. And you think, oh, well, maybe I can just pick them back up. No, you can't pick them back up. Creative mode or not, you won't be able to pick them up. But there is something that you should know, and that is the damage values. Now, if I'm shooting this, an iron one, or sorry, aluminum. This was aluminum, 4.5 hearts, or 4.5 damage, which is about like 2.25 hearts. So you're not doing very much. Now, if I take this off my hotbar, it will default to the next available one in my inventory, which is iron. So if I'm shooting an iron one, I'm doing 5, which is going to be much better. And these are going to be a standard value. I mean, sure, it might be adjusted by other things, but they shouldn't be any different. Now, steel rod. There we go. We're up to 6 now. And then if I get into graphite electrodes, 8, which is pretty impressive. I mean, if I use a vanilla bow, which I'm in creative, so I don't even need arrows, I shoot this guy, it's about 4.5. You know, it might vary a little bit, but around 4.5 to 5, or I should say 4 to 5 is what your usual area is. Now I also have another bow that is heavily enchanted. Yeah, it has punch on it. That doesn't actually make any difference, but it has power 5. Now this varies anywhere from 7 to I think like 11.5 or something, depending on the random factor of this. So you've got higher damage potential. At a shorter range, a bow might be pretty good, but watch this. If I have any charge left in here, I do have a few shots left in this. So if I zoom in on here, let's aim at the top of this and charge it up. Fire just by letting go of the button. And you can see that I am currently shooting over there. Actually, it's hitting the dummy, but the dummy doesn't render far enough. So let me get close enough that the dummy actually shows up. There we go. Now I can aim at him. Oops, which I have to be standing on something to do so. Hold on a second while I get myself a little bit of a pedestal to stand on. There we go, so that we can see the dummy ahead of me. Now, do I have any charge left in here? Yes, I have 1 shot left. All right. So if I shoot at this guy, I'm aiming at his head, right? Pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, it pretty much hit there. It's most likely going to be in a very small area wherever your crosshairs are at a good distance. Now, if I use a bow and I aim at his head, it lands at his feet. So it's going to be a bit slower to get to the target, as well as you've got to compensate with your bow in order to hit that target. So it's something to take into consideration that it is potentially weaker if you're going with a fully enchanted bow, but you do have to kind of aim quite a bit off in order to hit the target that you're trying to get there, like this. But otherwise, with your railgun, put that in here, charge it back up. I still have my electrodes already with me. I just need to aim, and you can see there, zooming in, I don't need to compensate. I mean, maybe if I go a really long distance, I might have to raise it up a tiny bit, but it's not too bad. I mean, here, we've got a squid here. I'll aim for the top of his... Oh, he disappeared. He despawned. That's very disappointing. Well, that's all right. I've got Mr. Moo Moo over here. There we go. Down for the count. And I've got more squids underneath. Well, hey, you know what? Hey, maybe I can shoot these guys underwater. That's something I should show you as well. Here is a bow underwater. Yes, it's rather dark. I don't know if you guys can see, but I shoot and it kind of just fades down. Well, if I use a railgun, it will kind of do the same thing, actually. Let me come back here. And you can see the bubbles just kind of fizz out and go down. Now, if I'm shooting from above into the water, you've got a little bit better distance, so it doesn't get slowed down from the water as much. But yeah, I mean, it is going to be slowed down just like a normal vanilla arrow is, or similar to it at the very least. And that pretty much is it for the railgun, as well as the rods that you can shoot it with, which they're all the same, but your graphite electrodes only will stack in stacks of 16 and are a little bit more expensive to make, with HOP graphite ingots and so on. But this also lines up quite well with the amount of energy that you can store with a fully upgraded railgun, which is it can shoot 15 shots, and you can stack 16 of your graphite electrodes. So when you have one left, you know that you are just about pretty much done with that. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. This is a little bit by bit on the railgun of Immersive Engineering. I'll probably do maybe one more video kind of summarizing up a few of the last things that I have yet to cover. If you've enjoyed this series so far, or even just this video, or you feel like you should share, feel free to give a like, comment, subscribe, and as always, spread the mischief to others if you think they'll enjoy this content as well. Until next time, folks, I'll see ya.